You ready? Ready.
It's another hot one in El Paso, Texas, as we get ready for live USL Championship action. Let's take you behind the scenes, brought to you by GECU. Locomotive FC is here and ready to take on their biggest rival in Group C play, New Mexico United. It might be a short week for the Locos, but you'd better believe there is no need for extra motivation for this match. It's Locomotive FC versus New Mexico United.
Welcome to the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
Indeed, welcome to the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team pregame show. Well, good one tonight. 1 of 4 with the Rio Grande rivals, New Mexico United. I am Duke Keith. Joining me in another booth as we socially distance is my friend Michael Balogun. And Michael, how exciting is this 2020 season for Rio Grande Derby rivals?
Yeah, this is definitely one that fans, players, staff circled on the calendar as soon as the schedule was released. Not only because of the proximity between the two clubs, but also how similar they are in their style and the way they want to play, and also in the following of the fans. And lastly, there's a sense of revenge from the locals wanting to get back at New Mexico United for that 3-0 loss and not beating them all throughout 2019 last year. So it's definitely going to be a good one tonight, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this season in the rivalry between these two teams.
Well, both teams coming into this match after playing and winning on Saturday. El Paso playing host to RGV Toros FC, and Locomotive dominant in playing its brand of soccer and maintaining possession, as well as regaining it quickly when they lost the ball. And here you see finally a very pretty pass. Josue Aron Gomez to Dylan Maris is going to get it in there at the very last. Quite a game, and Locomotive did its job, especially in the second half, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. For me, the biggest key to the Locomotive's victory against RGV was the adjustments that Mark Lowry made at halftime, bringing on a Richie Ryan. We talked about depth, and in my conversation with him before the season started in March, he talked about how deep this team was. So being able to bring on a Richie Ryan and a Meshach Jerome off the bench in the second half was absolutely massive for the team in the game against RGV, and I anticipate that both those players will be either in the starting lineup tonight, and the depth of the team is going to be used in this game against New Mexico United.
So it is 4 points in the top of Group C for El Paso Locomotive FC. For New Mexico United, a big Group C road win at Colorado Springs. And how about a Goal of the Year candidate to open your account? Salih Muhammad on the volley. But in the first half stoppage time, Aiden Daniels from distance to tie the match at 1, and it would stay that way late into the second half. I think Locomotive fans are going to recognize this name. He wears the number 14, Chris Weehan. In the 87th minute, gets one through. That is the match winner, 2-1, as New Mexico United now tied for second place in Group C.
Colorado had a good game, pretty even game. Colorado probably could have nicked it themselves at the end, but then New Mexico counter-attack in the 87th minute and score themselves. So they're the moments that we have to really be in control of. When the game's close, we can't give them those counter-attacking opportunities because they do have 2 or 3 players going forward that are dangerous.
And those are the thoughts of Mark Lowry. And Mike, it is a very dangerous New Mexico team, scoring a couple on the road there.
Yeah, definitely. This is a New Mexico United team that's known for scoring goals late in the game. Not only in that game against Colorado Switchbacks, but also going back to 2019. They're definitely known for staying in the game and scoring games late. But in addition to that, I think what's going to be key for this game is how does New Mexico, in this season, how does New Mexico United handle the loss of a Santi Moore and a Kevon Frater? Those are big players for them last year, and they don't have them this year. So how are they going to be able to cope with those two losses? We're going to have to see when they really get tested tonight against the Locos.
Pulsating offense for New Mexico United. You have to love a great derby, and we are in for a fun one this evening. No fans, but check out these messages in support from Eighth Notch. These are going to be in the tunnel as Locomotive players come out onto the pitch. That is outstanding. Giro's beard, of course, is going to make an appearance. Our thanks to Eighth Notch for all of those great signs. The Southwest University starting lineups are coming up next. It's Locomotive FC, New Mexico United FC, right here on ESPN+.
Thank you for watching the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
You ready? Ready. Let's hit the road. The Summer Road Trip Sales event starts now at Casa Ford, your saving destination.
Stop by today and get our best prices of the summer on every new Ford.
Get 0% APR on a 2020 F-150 or save $9,500 off MSRP.
Wherever you're headed this summer, make your first stop at El Paso's #1 Ford dealer, Casa Ford. Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome, everybody, back to Southwest University Park. Duke Keith Michael Balogun as we take a look at the Southwest University starting lineups. First for homestanding Locomotive FC, Omar Salgado. Notable, back and in the starting lineup tonight. And they will start with Richie Ryan as that defensive mid. As for New Mexico United, and it's probably the guys you don't see there, as you pointed out, Mike, Kevon Frater and Santi Moar. But they still have Chris Wehan and Big Devin Sandoval up front. As we are just about ready to kick things off here tonight. And we are underway. Let's take a look at our Casa Ford, Casa Nissan, and Casa Kia keys of the game. Mike, what does Locomotive have to do to get 3 points this evening?
I think one of the adjustments that the Locos made in the game against RGV was the number of players they had running into the box in that game. That's going to be very important in this game.
And immediately, New Mexico challenging up the left wing, Armando Moreno, one of the newer players, crossing to no one. As we continue our Team Casa keys to the game.
Yeah, we talked about the number of players that were able to get into the box in that game, in the second half, especially in the game against RGV. You saw on the goal that Dylan Mare scored was the number of players that were around the box and in the box. That's going to be very, very important in this game.
And a shot just wide, whistling. Just shy of the goal. Andrew Tenari wasn't on frame and will count as a shot on net. But Logan Ketterer with the goal kick coming, and you knew there would be a little more offensive pressure for Locomotive FC coming into this match as opposed to the home opener Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. In that game against Colorado Switchbacks, New Mexico didn't really look like themselves. There were times where Colorado dominated possession, they dominated the game. However, they were able to come out with a win. So in this game, they're going to want to start off early. They're going to want to come out of the gates with a lot of pressure, and that's what we see here early in this game.
Armando Moreno firing that one wide. David Najem forces the throw in as we take a look now at the Texas Tech health report and showing no injuries for Locomotive FC, Mike.
And that's definitely a good sign. Obviously, maintaining the health of these players early in this season is going to be very, very important. After going 4 months of no games, very little training or limited training, it's going to be very important how both coaches, both teams manage the minutes of the players and the health of the players.
Our referee tonight is Chris Rusca, Manuel Vargas, Chris Canales, the assistant referees, and Marco Vega, our fourth official here from Southwest University this evening. Locomotive unveiling the dark uniforms today, New Mexico, in its road gold trimmed in black. And so far in the early going, it is United of controlling the run of play a bit. And you saw the quick feet of Armando Moreno. The young man they brought in played a few matches with Chicago Fire last season. U.S. under 18, U.S. under 21 international. Kid comes with a pedigree, and he was the one who whistled that shot just wide of Logan Ketterer's net.
Yeah, I anticipate they brought him in looking to fill in the shoes for the Santi Moar that's no longer with New Mexico United. He's got some big shoes to fill because Santi Moar was such a huge player for them last year. Not only in his quality, but just the amount of attention he drew from oppositions, and that allowed other teammates to be able to get into the game and create space for themselves.
Mishak Jerome delivers one. Bounces just wide of Salgado. Trying to run it down as Fox, who will, but a little too hard as Najem traveled for it, and it'll be a throw-in for El Paso, or rather New Mexico, as you take a look at Chris Wehan here. Wehan scored twice against El Paso in that 3-0 New Mexico United win. Again, one of a handful of teams that Locomotive FC has not been able to defeat thus far. A 2-2 draw here in the first match in El Paso, and a 3-0 United drubbing on July 31st.
He's such a quality play. He has a knack for popping up in the right moments, in the right situation. We saw that in the game against Colorado. He was just able to create a little bit of separation, a little bit of room, and get a shot off in that game.
Good touch. Comes to Sandoval. The shot is in, but it's offside. It won't matter. And a dreadful turnover in front of the 18-yard box. Andrew Tenari steps into that pass as Locomotive trying to play out of the back and having their issues in this early going.
The one thing that New Mexico United is doing a little different is just how they're starting out. They're set up in this game compared to how they set up against Colorado, which I think affected them. They played with a 3-back against Colorado. They played with 2 holding mids, 4 across in the midfield. So that affected how much of the ball, their rhythm in that game. In this game, they've gone to their natural 4 in the back, two holding mids, or in this case, 1 holding mid with Juan Pablo Guzman, and then a more 4-3-3 formation to put it. So this is more what they're used to, what they played quite often last year, and they're more familiar with it.
Well, certainly the high pressure yielding results in the early going for United, as Sandoval just in an offside position to receive that pass. But Andrew Tenari stepped right into it. It is again Locomotive playing out of the back. Richie Ryan and Toko, Andy Fox switching with Ross a bit to go a little more centrally. And now a nice roll trying to find Salgado, but intercepted well.
I think the inclusion of Omar Salgado in this game is going to be very key.
Good work by Najem again. Here's the high cross and the header just up and over the crossbar. Locomotive quickly getting that one out to Josue Aron Gomez. As we take a look at this cross on the replay.
See, the first time the Locomotive are able to get out of their half and break into the attack in third, Andrew Fox is able to deliver a good ball into Jose Aron Gomez. Unlucky not to get more on that header and direct it in on goal.
Just don't think he quite got the altitude he was looking for. "17 shots for Locomotive FC in 2 matches versus United last season. But again, a 2-2 draw and a 3-0 loss in Albuquerque. And there is one of the newest New Mexico United defenders, Kalen Ryden. Salt Lake City, or Real Monarchs, Defender of the Year in 2018 and 2019, scored the game-tying goal in the Western Conference Final against Locomotive FC last season. And that's going to be a foul called on Andrew Fox, who pleads with the linesman to say that's not a foul.
And I would have to agree with Andrew Fox. I think he got a lot of the ball. Yes, he got Armando Moreno, but however, there is a lot of the ball. You see it there, knocking it out for a corner kick, follows through, but to me, that's a corner, not a free kick.
Well, Chris Ruska saying, I'm not the linesman, I'm the referee. And thus it is a free kick in a solidly dangerous spot. Andrew Tenari looks to be taking it on the left side of the Locomotive FC box.
I think these situations are where New Mexico is going to miss a player like a Manny Padilla who's out tonight. His ability to serve dangerous balls, you saw it quite often in the games against Colorado. It's going to be missed in this game.
Slow roller chipped back in by Chris Wehan, but Richie Ryan's feet able to clear it. Mexico United, Andrew Fox will just put it in touch. And we can look at that high pressure for New Mexico United. This is a team that thrives on pressure. Probably one of the best at doing that and performing under those circumstances in the USL Championship. And who could forget the match where there was that bit of Spaniard on Spaniard violence, Yuma and Santi Moar getting red carded here in El Paso the first time these two teams met. There's a nice slide. Wehan taking it and lofting it over the crossbar. Good give and go though with Sandoval. And the service from along that left wing by Austin Yearwood.
That relationship between Chris Wehan and Devin Sandoval is going to be, it's been crucial for New Mexico United, and you see it already. It's something that's been very, very important early on in this game.
Mishak Jerome decides to clear the line, but it's out for a New Mexico throw. And United, you have to say, the better of the possession in the opening 10 or so minutes.
To me, the transition and New Mexico's ability to adjust to El Paso is based on just how they're setting up. In the game against Colorado, they really struggled because they were playing the 3-back and couldn't figure out what Colorado was trying to do. In this game, they've come out early in a more traditional 4-4-3-3 formation, and they've had the better run of play, more chances as a result of that.
Over the back line for a goal kick. Mishak Jerome to Stil Zola, who gets the starting nod tonight. Oh, served up and the rebound right to the waiting feet of Chris Wehan. Locomotive FC put under pressure, and in the 11th minute, Wehan makes them pay. As easy a goal as he will score this season.
And I think this is where the Locomotive have to do a better job of recognizing, okay, maybe there are moments where we don't play out, where we don't build out, and we stretch the opposition a little bit, giving ourselves a little bit of room in the midfield to play. And that time they tried to play a bit much with under pressure and gave the ball right into the feet of Chris Wehan, who tapped it into the back of the net.
Well, Mishak Jerome with a pass that was beyond Logan Ketterer, and thus his consecutive streak of clean sheets is done. And another turnover. Here's Sandoval. Moreno. Moreno backed out by the team captain Chiro Intoko. Najem. High pressure yielding results for New Mexico United. And the first goal Locomotive FC has conceded this season. The 0-0 draw on the road at Orange County, and the 1-0 victory here last Saturday over RGV Toros FC. Moreno playing along that right. Hamilton to Ryden. Lofts one. Well played, looking for Moreno, trying to touch it down, and he gets there. Tipped, but right into the waiting arms of Logan Ketterer, who's able to bat that down. Again, though, opportunistic. Romeo Parks, the Jamaican international. It's a slow-rolling pass to the midfield. Fortunately for Locomotive FC, makes Richie Ryan, and here's Zola pushing. Dylan Maris. Maris looking for an angle, it's deflected, but handled in the end by Cody Mizell, returning for his second season with United FC.
That's well done by Dylan Maris to pick up that ball, drive at the back line of New Mexico United. Just unlucky to get a deflection and take some heat off of that shot.
Early days, but Dylan Maris, 5 chances created, ties him for 5th in terms of that statistic in the USL Championship. And of course, the goal on Saturday to open his account with his new team. Ryden on Pablo Guzman. It's intercepted. Good work in the right wing by Gomez, and a loose ball. Richie Ryan already upset. Free kick taken quickly. Sandoval, flag stays down. Rebellon fights it off. Good work against the Albuquerque native, the Colombiano. Under pressure, Jerome. You can tell they want to press him. Double teamed, but is able to deliver the ball to Rebellon, and outside it'll be another free kick conceded. Another foul conceded by El Paso Locomotive FC.
And you can see Dylan Maris having a word with the referee, not agreeing with the soft fouls that are being called early in this game. And I will have to agree with him. Felt like 2 of the 3 that he's called have not been fouls in my opinion.
Najem, another one of the new United players. It's Ryden, switch it, put Samir under it for Najem to run under. Moreno taken down from behind by Fox. No argument about that one. Tenari, Moreno. Chipped back out for Najem. To see the lanky frame of Romeo Parks roaming in the middle. Long ball out of the back. Ryden trying to get it to Sandoval. Well fought off by Chiro and Toko. Rebellon switches it long, looking for Gomez. Dealt with well by Sam Hamilton. Fox trying to step up in front of that. It'll be a throw-in for Locomotive as it bounces off Moreno.
I think the Locomotive are going to have to do a better job of putting a little bit of pressure on the 2 center backs of New Mexico United. They have way too much time on the ball to pick out passes, find central midfielders, find the ball into the forwards, and then have runs off of those guys. They've got to do a little bit better of putting those players under pressure and forcing them into some inaccurate passes or some turnovers.
Here's Ryan. Moves it forward to Nick Ross. Good man to have at his feet. He tries one and will earn a corner kick as it's skipped away off the feet of Juan Pablo Guzman. And a corner kick, it'll be Dylan Maris doing the honors here for El Paso. Chick-fil-A corner kick coming up as Locomotive trying to fight their way back from behind.
I anticipate this is looking for Distel Zola, who's really dangerous on set pieces.
And Toko to the end line, batted away by Mizell with Salgado waiting. Chipped back over the line. It'll be a goal kick coming.
Felt like this was going to be one of the keys for the game, is how the Locomotive capitalize on set piece situations with the likes of Distel Zola, Chiro and Toko, the size of Andrew Fox. That's going to be very important in this game. I feel like New Mexico United give up a lot of corner kicks or set piece opportunities that the Locos can take advantage of in this game.
Cody Mizell, the Georgian, in his 2nd season. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Here's Ryan. Zola. Zola trying a crowd, delivering to Salgado. With his back, it's Maris. Fox tries for the near corner, and it's off the side netting. Andy Fox firing one.
That's well done by the Loco to break away and really exploit this left side, this near left side and the right side of New Mexico. This is also the side of the field that New Mexico United struggled against Colorado. That's why I believe you see the likes of Omar Salgado in the lineup, starting up top on the left side for the Locos, going against the right defenders of New Mexico United.
Well, they haven't really been able to serve the ball to Salgado's feet. He is so dangerous when he's able to break and turn and get moving. Way off his line, Ketterer will let this one roll back into the box. Rizzola under pressure gets taken down and a foul called on Andrew Tenari. Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman, always sure-footed. Zola, a little loose on that pass, taken immediately by Moreno, trying to get it up to Sandoval, and Mishak Jerome handles his business. Out to Parks. Well played. Maris slid in front of that. Maris to Salgado. Not the first touch he wanted. Into Parks again. And out wide. Najem rolls it into space. And here is Weehan. Weehan draws a big crowd. Richie Ryan takes him off. No call. Play on. Out to Salgado.
And those are the moments that are going to be really important for the Locomotive, how they exploit the width on the transition. In that moment, Omar Salgado, if he's able to control that ball and run at the back line of New Mexico United, that is a scary sight for any defender. With his pace, with his size, that's not something New Mexico United is looking forward to in this game. He's got to do a better job with that touch and to be able to take advantage of those moments.
Right, and switches it out to Najem into the middle. Little head fake, Moreno. Keeps possession. Moreno chewing up some field, isn't he? Quick feet, moves forward, moves backward. Does what he has to do to keep possession for United, which has had the better of possession. So we're about to move into our 21st minute. 57% to 43 as Locomotive having the game turned on its head. Here is a bit of a pass out to Salgado. Nifty cross far post. No one on the other side of it. And in touch for United.
Much better job by the Locomotive, putting the players, the central players of New Mexico United under a little bit of pressure, really forcing them to turn over the ball so they can hit them on the break and find Omar Salgado in those spaces to run at the back line. That's going to be very important in this game, especially if they're looking to get one back.
Jerome. Locomotive coming into this match, 84% in their passing accuracy. That's good for fourth in the league. But it is United handling the ball quite a bit more in this early going. Tenari receiving it back from Guzman. Najem has had a number of touches. They like utilizing him along that right wing. Hamilton, native of Denver, back for another season. Of course, Santi Muar plying his trade with Phoenix Rising FC. That was a jaw-dropping signing for Rising FC in the offseason. And then Kevon Frater electing to go to Israel to play professionally there.
Yeah, those are two big losses for New Mexico United. However, looking at how they've come out in the first 22 minutes of this game, you wouldn't know that they're missing probably two of their better players from 2019. They've done a very good job of adjusting and coming out really strong in this game.
Good work by Austin Yearwood on the left side touchline, though. Locomotive will rebound with that into space for Salgado, trying to get there before Hamilton, but a little too long from Andrew Fox. Over the back line, and it will be a goal kick for Cody Mizell. Last touched by Salgado. Quick outlet. Guzman, Najem, and Guzman again. Guzman hailing from Bogota, Colombia. Patient in possession. Again, trying to start something with Najem on that right wing. Usman. Well done to shield the ball. We hand the long switch left side. It'll be intercepted by Rebellon. Sandoval. Tenari. Najem. Tenari into space. Not enough space for Sandoval.
And that's well done for the Locomotive, staying compact, staying organized defensively, not really giving too many options to New Mexico United. However, I still think they've got to get a bit of pressure on the two center backs of New Mexico United. They've got to get some pressure on Sam Hamilton and Kayla Wright, and if they can't put them under pressure and win the ball higher up the field to be able to exploit the pace and the ability of Omar Salgado and Jose Aron Gomez, they're going to struggle and find themselves defending quite a bit in this game.
The USL Championship spotlight turns back to the West for an early Group B tussle Thursday, July 16th. That would be tomorrow, with only 2 spots up for grabs per group. Orange County SC, Phoenix Rising FC. Meeting as the regional rivalry adds another chapter, 2 Western Conference powers. Orange County and Phoenix tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN2. Hamilton, rather Yearwood. Moreno. Shaq Jerome. The intervention. Rebellon goes back to Ketterer. Blasting it long. And put in touch off the head of Wrighton. Distel Zola, one of the newest Locomotive FC players, key contributor in the build-up to the Locomotive goal on Saturday night. It was his pass that sprung Marios Lomez, who starts today on the bench for Locomotive FC. Sent over to Josue Aron Gomez. Found Dylan Mares, who did a great job chesting that ball down into his own path and firing it into the back of the net. And we've got an injury, slight injury, a knock on David Najem. And they're going to bring in the trainer Tyler Harris. Texas Tech physicians of El Paso nod to the dock. And I believe they may utilize this opportunity for the water break. We'll see. Team's just heading back, so it looks as if that is exactly the case.
And this would be a good moment for the Locomotive to regroup. You see Coach Mark Lowry immediately grab the tactical board. He's going to show the players a few things, show them how to make some adjustments and really put some pressure and take advantage of what New Mexico United is doing specifically on this near left side.
The Hydro Flask hydration break. Our thanks to Hydro Flask for providing the wonderful Hydro flasks here tonight. They don't ask us what we put in them. I have tea in mine, I promise. But as we take a look, they've just elected to take this one in the 26th minute instead of in the 30th, and that is clearly up to the referee's discretion. Chris Ruska, our center referee tonight. And let's talk about the 2 new Locomotive FC signings. Eder Borelli, the defender, played for Querétaro, won a championship with Tigres in 2011, signed with FC Juarez Bravos in 2017, 3 goals and 106 appearances, an absolute staple on that Bravos back line. And then you have the Brazilian, leading goal scorer in the history of FC Juarez, Leandro Carrijo. Brazil, Hong Kong, Mexico, 102 appearances for Bravos. And of course, won the Ascenso MX Apertura in 2015 as well. So a couple of seasoned veterans coming north across the border, and these are great pickups, Mike.
Yeah, these are players. They're just going to add to the depth that the Locos already have on their roster. Obviously, losing two key attacking players in Sebastian Velasquez, in Jerome Kiesewetter, now bringing a player like Leandro who can put the ball in the back of the net. That's going to be huge for the Locos, especially as the season progresses and as they look to advance and make it to the playoffs.
Daniel Bruce will replace David Najem, who cannot continue, and that is not a substitution Troy Lesesne wanted to make, clearly. One of the three substitutions, one of the three Tropical Smoothie Cafe subs that New Mexico United will get outside of halftime. There, you can substitute 5 players, but only 3 instances during the run of play.
Yeah, and this is definitely not one that Troy Lesesne had planned. You know, making a sub less than 30 minutes into the first half. He's definitely going to be a bit upset that he's having to use this sub. However, it looks like David Najem came up with a sort of a hamstring injury. You saw him walk off the field grabbing the back of his right leg, and that's something that's of concern with the lack of time to prepare for the season, with the limited amount of training days and training opportunities. Player safety and player health was definitely going to be a concern, and you see that here with David Najem coming up with what looks like a hamstring injury.
Daniel Bruce, 5'6", native of Warrington, England, returning for his second season. Here's Parks into Sandoval, the nifty back heel, stuck away, and great intervention. Andrew Fox at the last. Ketterer with the initial save, but it's Fox who cleared it off the line and kept it from going in for a second goal. It will be a corner kick.
Unbelievable save by Logan Ketterer. How Devin Sandoval got that ball on frame is beyond me, but Logan Ketterer's ability to react and get a fingertip on it is absolutely terrific. And then you see Andrew Fox coming across, sticking that right leg in and cleaning it out. Well done from the Locos.
The dangerous feet of Amando Moreno right there. Here is the Chick-fil-A corner from Chris Wehan. Goes short to Moreno. Good pressure by Ross. Forces him to reset. Guzman and Bruce. Bruce will loft one in. Pounced back out by Box. All the way up to Cody Mizell. Solid defense for Locomotive FC. Keeps this one 1-0 to New Mexico United. The goal in the 11th minute, Chris Wehan with the easiest one he may have.
And this is where the Locos are getting in trouble, when they look to put pressure on New Mexico United and the ball gets played out wide to earlier David Najem, and now Daniel Bruce. They're going to have to find a way to keep that ball from getting out wide to the outside backs of New Mexico United.
Tenari is down and stays down, and Ryden lets the ball go as Tenari draws the attention of Chris Ruska. Got tangled, I believe, with Brian Rebellon. Andrew Tenari, another new United player out of Holbrook, New York. Played last season with Tampa Bay Rowdies. Solid team out of the East, and another Texas Tech nod to the dock, and another trip onto the field for Tyler Harris, who's busier than he'd like to be.
And you see the New Mexico United players speaking to the referee, feeling like Brian Rebellon went studs up into that challenge.
Our Texas Tech nod to the dock is going to bring Tenari over to the side, or the touch line. But doesn't look any of the worse for wear. And that is good news for United FC, who've already made an injury substitution in the 28th. Fans, follow Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. 8 million sports fans have already discovered ESPN Plus. Join them. Watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Lofted out of the back by Hamilton, looking for Romeo Parks. Well met by Rebellon, but it'll bounce for Moreno. Right up the middle. Moreno a little too far ahead, I think, looking for Sandoval. Pass was off. And Ketterer. 2 matches, 2 clean sheets coming in. That disappeared in the 11th minute. Here is Ryan, 35-year-old veteran Irishman. That's taken away off of Maris. Good work again by Tenari. And rolled in Sandoval, challenging Ketterer. Easy one. Ketterer will roll it out quickly, right to Rebellon. No foul called. Gomez goes to ground, but Locomotive keeps possession. Jerome and Toko.
As you watch the locals try to build out, I think Dylan Maris has to do a little better job playing closer to the forwards.
Ross, Gomez back to Ross. Ross will challenge trying to cross and fended off by Wright.
A great run by Nick Ross, combining well with Dylan Maris and continuing his run to get into the box and try to get a cross off.
Gomez trying to get in front of that. Allows Rebellon to do so. Harris trying to flick one on to Gomez. That one's intercepted by Wright. Weehan clears it off. On the bounce, it comes to Moreno. Moreno taken down, touched away, gives it back for Weehan, who fires it up and over. Another big run, Nick Ross helping out there. No foul, but Moreno didn't wait around to plead his case with the referee, got right back up, seeing Weehan chugging down the middle behind him.
And Nick Ross does a terrific job of recovering on that ball to put pressure on Moreno to make sure he doesn't get a clean shot on goal.
But New Mexico right up the middle, dangerous on the counterattack. They'll play it short. Jerome, it draws immediate pressure. Rebellon. Sola is fouled. That'll give Locomotive FC a little space. As we enter the 36th minute, Ryan Sola trying to find Gomez, who'll run it down. Touched out of trouble. It's bounced off of Sola, a loose ball in the middle. Well played. Fox crossing and just wide and behind Maris on the rebound. Sola fires over. Locomotive FC finding a bit of a break as New Mexico United breaks down, but it remains 1-0 to the visitors.
Still, Zola's going to be kicking himself for not putting that on frame and forcing a save from Cody Mizell. He's got to do a better job with getting that on frame, with how many bodies are in front of goal, in front of Cody Mizell. Just putting it somewhere and forcing the keeper to make a save and possibly getting a rebound would have been clutch in that moment.
Of course, came up through the Monaco system, and that is going to be a foul. Sandoval is taken down by Rebellon, who's issued a yellow card. The physical yellow card given to Brian Rebellon here in the 37th minute. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allowing clubs throughout the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together the top local youth talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup event, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off next spring. For more information, visit usl-academy.com or search hashtag USL Academy on social media. Our man Bob Bigney and Locomotive FC, and my broadcast partner Michael Balogun, combining to start up Locomotive FC's Youth Academy. Out of the back, lofted into the box, an easy grab for Logan Ketterer. It's going to be fun to see because we know from the fact that there are El Paso kids dotting MLS rosters. If not international rosters, it's a little too long looking for Salgado up the wing. Fox not happy with his service. But guys like Omar Salgado, a turnover. And Cody Mizell letting his team have it as Josue Aron Gomez just cutting another turnover. Here is Fox into the middle. Ross and taken down. Right in the middle is Maris.
The Locos finally able to put New Mexico under a little bit of pressure, and you see the results. They're able to win the ball high up the field in really good positions, and in that moment, Dylan Maris is able to draw a foul in a dangerous spot and looking to make New Mexico United pay.
Maris is the one standing over Meshach Jerome, who can deliver a ball on frame from there back as well as the pair talk things over. Maris, you would expect, would serve one in. Meshach will go for goal. Let's see. Maris will swing one in and just misses wide to the left. Mizell challenge looked like he would have been there in time, but Dylan Maris trying to bend one in low.
And he does very well to get that ball over the wall and back down, making it really difficult for Cody Mizell to see until the ball gets over the wall. The wall doesn't really do its job, flinches a little bit, breaks apart, and that's what causes Cody Mizell to have a bit of a panic attack as that ball goes over the wall and goes towards goal.
Less than a foot wide of the frame. Back into play. Rebellon wins that header. Locomotive FC trying to find some bounces, and one will go their way here. Fox will let it roll into touch. Trying to play quickly on the throw in. Well done, Gomez. Can't control, but Salgado will. Gets taken down and play on. Throw in for Locomotive FC. Salgado is all over Chris Ruska. And Salgado's going to get a yellow here for dissent. Well, that's not what Locomotive FC needs.
And that's where he's got to be a bit smarter as an older player, as a player with some experience, not just in the MLS, but also in Liga MX. He's got to understand those are the moments. Yes, I'm frustrated I didn't get the call. However, I've got to keep my mouth shut, and I've got to put the ball in the back of the net. That's how you respond in those moments.
The physical yellow card issued to Omar Salgado in the 40th minute. Stays in play. Tenari trying to find his way out. Good challenge by Maris. It'll bounce to Ross, and that will be a foul committed by Moreno as Ross remains down, the Scotsman.
And you're quickly seeing the foul count for both teams going up. These are teams that are not used to playing a game without yellow cards, without red cards. You talked about in their meetings last year having a combined 17 yellow cards and 2 red cards in 2 meetings last year. So these are teams that love the physical play. There's obviously a rivalry between this team, and you're seeing that towards the end of this first half.
And again, Maris and Jerome. This one's a little further back. Will it be Meshach Jerome's turn? Looks like it. Oh, we'll see. Maybe not. Five fouls committed by Locomotive FC, 3 for United. But this one in another dangerous position. Strike that's actually shots. Here's Maris. Slow roller. He'll let Jerome have a take, and that one sliced wide to the right. Interesting thought to try and move it wide of the wall and let Jerome rip one. But nowhere near the target for the Haitian international, who is upset with himself. Missed most of last season with an Achilles injury. Suffered in the Gold Cup playing for his native Haiti. As he heads the ball back into Zola. Good work by Gomez. Maris trying to find him on the return. A roll and touch, Rebellon. He'll switch it back to the captain, Chiro and Toko. Box into the middle, Ryan. He'll spray it wide to the right, Rebellon. Rebellon looking to roll one in, and the shot, the score, the goal is the equalizer from Omar Salgado.
That's well done from Brian Rebellon, taking on Austin Yearwood and getting a shot off on goal, getting a deflection, and Omar Salgado will not score an easier goal all year than he just did right there.
He and Chris Wehan saying mine was easier. No, mine was easier. Omar Salgado, the hometown hero, opens his account to tie the match at 1 in the 44th minute. As we take a look at the 8th notch Clásico fan cam. So Locomotive FC able to equalize before the halftime whistle.
And you saw this again in the game against Colorado Switchbacks. New Mexico giving up goals late in the half, giving up goals before halftime, and that's really hurting them. It hurt them against Colorado Switchback, and it's also hurting them against the Locos tonight.
The Hospitals of Providence bringing you Omar Salgado's equalizer in the 43rd. Tied at 1, and here's another long ball headed back Mizell just off the noggin of Sam Hamilton, and it was a good thing because Gomez was cheating ready to receive that. Sam Hamilton, that is an important intervention. Locomotive FC have worked their way back into this match, conceding the early goal in the 11th minute. The tap in by Wehan, followed by a tap in the 43rd by Salgado. Headed back to Logan Ketterick. Among the top 4 keepers last season with 13 clean sheets. Shaq Jerome going long, and that's headed out by Yearwood. And there will be 4 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time here in half number 1. Here's Bruce. Couldn't handle it. And that's going to be a foul. Bruce, a little extra keeping Ross off the ball. How important was that injury substitution of the 28th? Bruce, this is his first touch. After maybe just a little bit when he first came in. And Najem, clearly an important part of the buildup for United.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say night and day difference in players, but you have David Najem, who has international experience, having featured for Afghanistan in international competition. So you have that international experience compared to Daniel Bruce, who hasn't really played much and doesn't have that experience. So he's trying to work himself into this game. And
there's Maris taken off the ball at the last. Good solid work by that New Mexico United defense. And Salgado's going to run this one down and leave Tenari in his wake. Well done by Salgado. Trying to amend for his yellow card. Gets the equalizing goal and a solid bit of defensive work to get back as well.
And you love to see that effort from Omar Salgado, not just going forward, but also tracking back and helping the team defensively. That's definitely an area that Coach Mark Lowry has emphasized with him personally, is effort on the defensive side and making sure that he's helping the team in those moments, in those transition moments.
Well, it's been a 9-month wait for Omar Salgado, who, of course, was suspended for 2 matches to open the 2020 season. So he didn't get to play when Locomotive started at Orange County. There's Zola committing the foul. He didn't get to play Saturday night. And, of course, sent off late in that Western Conference final, a 2-1 loss to the eventual USL Cup champion, Real Monarchs SLC.
Yeah, so he's definitely excited to be back on the field. Obviously not having not played a game in such a long time, you know, there's going to be some rust there, but based on this first half, you can't see much of it. And he's been a very important part of the Locos in this first half.
Tenari lofts one. Easy grab for Ketterer, who's taken down. And Sam Hamilton says, sorry, bro. Ketterer firm in calling off his defense to go for that ball, though. As we were pointing out, 13 clean sheets. That's 4th in the USL Championship in 2019. Had 2 to start this season. But you'd have to say, even though it was the bounce off of his left foot that teed it up for Weehan, the pass to him was way off. Just a response to keep it from going into the back of the net. Here's Ross. Draws it out wide, looking for Maris. Well defended. Richie Ryan, though, to run it down. Was Guzman on Maris. And Toko. Ketterer. Locomotive a little more room to play it out of the back, and you see the high line Ketterer's got. Nice loft. And just a bit outside, looking for Omar Salgado, a Chick-fil-A corner coming up. Again, Sam Hamilton. Right where he needed to be.
And that the dynamic movement of Omar Salgado is what's important in this game. That's something that he brings that Mario Lomas doesn't necessarily bring to this team. Mario Lomas wants to get the ball to his feet, wants to hold the ball off and lay it off to runners, where Omar Salgado has the ability and the capability to run in behind and really stretch the defense. And you've seen him try to do it a couple of times in this first half and was very close to getting a chance on goal.
Salgado, a little discussion with Mizell there at the last 2. Lofted into the box, that is headed out by Hamilton. Back it comes and in for the goal! 2-1 Locomotive FC. Is it Richie Ryan? It's Andy Fox. Andrew Fox puts it in to give Locomotive FC the lead.
And we talked about set pieces being really important in this game. Felt like New Mexico United were susceptible to giving up goals on set pieces. They give up a lot of corner kicks, and here you see them. It's not the first one, it's the second one. The ball back into the play by Brian Rebellon, and there you see Andrew Fox just standing there waiting.
That may have gone in off Mizell. Let's see how they credit the goal. But it is 2-1 Locomotive FC. Fox was nearby, but that is the end of the first half of play. They will give the goal to Andrew Fox, but it is 2-1 Locomotive FC as there is a bit more discussion. Juan Pablo Guzman and Omar Salgado at the end of the first half, and Salgado will just walk away. Probably a wise decision.
And I think that discussion with the referee and Juan Pablo Guzman, it has to do with both goals, really feeling like both goals were offside. The one Andrew Fox just scored right before the halftime whistle really looked like it was an offside, but however the referee, the linesman couldn't see it or didn't see it or felt like it wasn't, and that's why it wasn't called.
Rebellon with the overhead kick to put it back in play. Locomotive FC goes into the locker room with a 2-1 lead, improbably in stoppage time. Let's take a look at the goals before we go to our GECU halftime show. And there you see Weehan. Salgado able to stab it home to equalize, and then in stoppage time, Rebellon. Andrew Fox able to put it in off of Mizell, and it's a 2-1 lead for the home team going into the halftime locker room. Let's take a break. When we come back, the GECU halftime show coming up right after this.
If you have a passion for the healthcare industry and want to be part of the solution? Then start today. At Southwest University, we have designed high-quality educational careers, helping you become a healthcare professional in as little as 9 months. Earn a degree as a surgical technician, sonographer, or a registered nurse in less than 2 years. Southwest University is El Paso's #1 allied health school. Start your career with online classes today. For more information, visit us now at southwestuniversity.edu. Southwest University makes you happen.
Great summers start at Casa Nissan, where our casa is su casa.
You can soak in the summer savings with incredible discounts on every new Nissan from our huge selection.
Current Nissan drivers can get a 2020 Rogue Sport with 0% APR and $4,582 off MSRP.
Save on your new summer ride at Casa Nissan.
Our casa is su casa. Yeah!
If you visit one of our campuses here at the Hospitals of Providence for an emergency, a surgery, or the birth of a child, rest assured that we have extra precautions in place for your safety. If you need care, don't hesitate.
We are fully operational, providing the same great care to you and your family.
Tell somebody who is postponing surgery that right now is a very, very safe time.
I think this is probably one of the safest places for you to be.
We're here for you with the expertise and compassion that makes us a community built on care.
Sometimes it's as if the universe wants everything to work out, like getting a new or used car with no payments for 90 days. When the planets align, it's the right time. Get pre-approved for a low-rate GECU auto loan today.
Welcome to the GECU Halftime Show. Manage your accounts 24/7 with GECU Online Banking, the GECU mobile app, and GECU ATMs. Learn more at gecu.com.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. The score at halftime is El Paso Locomotive 2 and New Mexico United 1. Kicking off the GECU halftime show, we talked about the new additions to the Locomotive: forward Leonardo Carrillo and defender Eder Borelli. Both guys come from Liga MX, having played for FC Juarez. There's a lot to look forward with these two players. Coach Marty talked about how they'll fit in with the group and how they'll help solidify an already strong roster.
We prepared a squad for 2020 based on a 34-game, 9-month season. And we were happy with the squad we put together for that concept of soccer, right? For that length of season.
Off pass to Lomis. Well done. Maris, the goal! Locomotive FC's 2020 account is opened, courtesy of their newest midfielder.
But now it's changed, and not being able to play friendlies to get us prepared means we need more players in training. A lot of games in a short space of time just means you need more players. Having Adair come in not only strengthens the relationship we have across the border with FC Juarez, it strengthens this team because he's a good player. It strengthens this group because he's a good person, and most importantly, he's a great person, a great leader. And it gives us extra quality to work with in training, on the training field, but also to help us get through the season.
I'm very happy to be here. I think I can help the team with my experience, with working very hard, and I think we are gonna be very successful.
Pasada línea de fondo, manda del centro, segundo palo, Carrijo, gol! Goal!
With Leandro, you obviously get goals. You know, he's a forward that scored a ton of goals over there at FC Juarez, and we hope we get to see some of those here in El Paso.
Carrijo se entra al área, dispara, gol!
He's been in Juarez for the last 5 years, so he knows this area very well. I'm sure that it'll be easy for him to adapt and be able to contribute a lot to this team in the future.
Coach Lowry talked about the roster and how he's built this roster to stand a 34-match season. However, with the shortened season, in the group play format, having depth in this roster is going to be just as important and a crucial part of their success this season. On the other side of this break, we'll take a look at the scores, the storylines around the league, as the GECU halftime show continues.
The USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
I'm 14 years old. I play for Orange County Soccer Club.
Glasgow Rangers Academy players are heading to Orange County on loan.
I think I could be the best player in the world.
One of the key components of USL clubs establishing reserve teams through the USL Academy League is the strategic alignment of long-term player development efforts. As opposed to the scholastic calendar that traditional youth leagues typically follow, and in an effort to further drive vertical integration, the USL Academy League will be the first pre-professional league to align with the American professional soccer calendar. Clubs will begin the year with a month-long preseason in February, followed by a 9-month regular season split into 3 cycles: spring, summer, and fall, concluding with USL Academy League playoffs before an off-season in December and January. Clubs will be able to move players fluidly through programs at select times throughout the year. These transfer windows strategically line the Youth Network, USL Academy Team, and USL Senior Team even further. For more information, visit usl-academy.com.
Welcome, everybody, back to the GECU halftime show. Locomotive FC have stormed back to take a 2-1 lead into the halftime locker room as we take a look. Group C standings, Locomotive FC at the top, followed by Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC and New Mexico United, each at 3. And, of course, United probably has the drop on Switchbacks because of the win over Switchbacks in Colorado Springs last weekend. And Real Monarchs SLC, the defending USL Cup champions, have yet to win a game going into this week of play. Now, at this time, we want to recognize pediatric oncology nurse Tara Elrod. Tara is an awesome nurse at the hospitals or the Providence Children's Hospital, often recognized by families for her caring manner, her willingness to go above and beyond to make their little ones stay less scary. We want to thank Tara for the care she provides their smallest patients. She is our healthcare worker, the Providence healthcare worker of the match. First half highlights after the break. It's the GECU halftime show continuing here on ESPN+.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain with 3 convenient locations in El Paso. Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today. 915.
Welcome back, everybody. Southwest University Park is the place. The GECU halftime show continues. Locomotive FC over New Mexico United 2-1 here at the break. As we take a look at some of the news from around the United Soccer Leagues. Still defending documentary. This highlights one of the nicest guys in soccer, Locomotive FC's Drew Becky, who has a heart condition, myocarditis. The film documents what steps the Locomotive defender had to take just to get back on the field. Former Canadian national teamer as well. And this documentary is out. I know you can get it on Amazon and a few other places as well. Stilldefending.doc.com. Also announced on June 10th, the club will support teams in various age groups playing in elite events locally, regionally, and nationally a direct connect to the Locomotive team, the pro team as well, the youth soccer club led by Bob Bigney. And the Estrella Jalisco cutout conductors continue. You can keep them coming in. They're in section 105. Submit a high-resolution photo. Part of the net proceeds go to El Paso COVID-19 relief funds. You can purchase again at eplocomotivefc.com for the cutout, the Estrella Jalisco cutout conductors. Let's take a look at first half highlights here in downtown El Paso, the newly renovated Plaza Hotel. Presented by Peter Piper Pizza, our match stats, 2-1 Locomotive FC with the stoppage time goal from Andrew Fox, 13-8 out shooting United. 4 shots on target for each team, 2 blocks for Locomotive, 1 for New Mexico, and 1 offside for United. The passing accuracy, well, United has owned that in the first half, possession as well, but it is Locomotive FC leading 2-1. We'll be back with more and some halftime highlights from the first half of play when we continue here on the GECU Halftime Show.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso. Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
You ready? Ready. Let's hit the road. The Summer Road Trip Sales event starts now at Casa Ford, your saving destination.
Stop by today and get our best prices of the summer on every new Ford.
Get 0% APR on a 2020 F-150 or save $9,500 off MSRP.
Wherever you're headed this summer, make your first stop at El Paso's #1 Ford dealer, Casa Ford. Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Sometimes it's as if the universe wants everything to work out. Like getting a new or used car with no payments for 90 days. When the planets align, it's the right time. Get pre-approved for a low-rate GECU auto loan today. Sometimes it's as if the universe wants everything to work out. Like getting a new or used car with no payments for 90 days. When the planets align, it's the right time. Get pre-approved for a low-rate GECU auto loan today.
Great summers start at Casa Nissan, where our casa is su casa.
You can soak in the summer savings with incredible discounts on every new Nissan from our huge selection. Current Nissan drivers can get a 2020 Rogue Sport with 0% APR and $4,582 off MSRP.
Save on your new summer ride at Casa Nissan.
Our casa is su casa. Yeah!
If you visit one of our campuses here at the Hospitals of Providence for an emergency, a surgery, or the birth of a child, rest assured that we have extra precautions in place for your safety. If you need care, don't hesitate.
We are fully operational, providing the same great care to you and your family.
Tell somebody who is postponing surgery that right now is a very, very safe time.
I think this is probably one of the safest places for you to be.
We're here for you with the expertise and compassion that makes us a community built on care.
Welcome back, everybody. Getting ready for the second half of play, 2-1. And here you see the goals from Omar Salgado. That coming in the 43rd minute. And then in stoppage time, cleared away. Rebellon with an overhead put back into play. Salgado to Andrew Fox. And in for the equalizer. That is in stoppage time. But this was all set up in the early going. The 11th minute, Mishak Jerome serves one back to Logan Ketterer, and Chris Wehan in for the easy tap-in. That was minute 11. But Locomotive FC has fought their way back. They have not had the better of possession. They haven't had much else going on as Yuma will check in. The Tropical Smoothie Cafe substitution. Distel Zola coming off here at half for Yuma, Javier Monsalves Carazo. Of course, the last time he faced United here in El Paso was shown red in his showdown with Santi Muar. But it'll be Locomotive FC to start play here in the second half. Duke Keith, Michael Balogun with you. Happy you could join us here on ESPN Plus. Locomotive FC ready to go to work. Here's Ross. Richie Ryan switching back from Gomez. And it'll be a bit of a double pivot, I think, maybe trying to solve some of those defensive issues that Locomotive had in early days in the first half. Richie Ryan and Yuma have combined in that kind of holding defensive mid-role many times in 2019. Here is Ross trying to switch it wide left.
And this is where we saw the Locomotive really put their stamp on the game against RGV. You can expect the same thing in this game. They've brought on experience in bringing on a player like Yuma, so we'll see what kind of influence he's able to have on this game in the second half.
And Toko almost lost it under pressure from Sandoval, but is able to scooch that one back to Logan Ketterer. Rebellon. Salgado. Yuma. Back to Logan Ketterer. Well, Locomotive has worked its way into the match, but United is going to have to feel a bit hard done by. But, I mean, you talked about this earlier. This is something that they have been apt to do. Giveaways at the back, especially in those set-piece situations, and it has cost them dearly. A 1-0 lead on the road has evaporated. Now Locomotive FC leads it 2-1.
Yeah, they definitely have to feel like they were the better team in that first half, and they're very unlucky to go into halftime down 2-1. They did everything they could have except put the ball in the back of the net when it counted in those crucial moments. And the Locomotive did well to stick in the game.
Playing advantage. Locomotive FC keeping possession, and here is Salgado going to the corner. It's after Maris was taken down roughly.
Handball.
And a handball in the box. No call. Andrew Fox was there. Looked like it bounced off of Sam Hamilton, but we get an opportunity. We'll take a look at it. It didn't look deliberate because it happened pretty fast. We'll see on the replay if we can figure anything out. That one's deflected. Tenari. And let's see. Was that Sam Hamilton, and did he handle it? It was not Sam Hamilton. We'll take another angle here. That bounced up on, it's Bruce. And that's where it was. Just flailing at it. I don't think he meant to touch it. Certainly, it was not deliberate, but his arm was a bit extended.
And for me, based on the interpretation of the rules and how it is right now, it's almost like it's at the referee's discretion to call that. Some referees will call that a yellow because they a foul and handball inside the box because the hands were in an unnatural position. Some referee may let that go because it comes so quickly off his foot and hits his hand.
Physical yellow card to Andrew Tenari for United here in the 50th minute. So we'll call it the 49th. As that was after United had put the ball over the back line.
And you're already seeing the Locomotive do a much better job of denying the ball out wide to Daniel Bruce. The way Nick Ross is approaching and defending Juan Pablo Guzman when the ball comes centrally is much different from what they did in the first half and how they allowed the ball to be bounced out to the outside backs of New Mexico United. That little adjustment is going to be crucial for them containing and keeping everything in front of them.
As the wind begins to blow here from the east. Some storm clouds gathering here in El Paso, Texas. Salgado trying to run things down, but well handled by Kalen Ryden. Getting swallowed up by my backdrop here. Here in the restart is Logan Ketterer. Bounces in. They're going to look for a handball. They won't get one. Austin Yearwood able to get that one off the shoulder. Hamilton. Right. Well intercepted. Good job by Rebellon. Throw in for United.
You saw this late towards the end of the first half. Just the amount of pressure the locals were able to put on Sam Hamilton and Kalen Wright, and that to me made a huge difference in them creating turnovers and having opportunities late in that first half. And here again, you already see them putting a little bit more pressure on those two players and making it difficult for New Mexico United to build out.
Tenari. That one didn't go, I think, where he wanted it to. Richie Ryan intercepting. It'll bounce. Trying to keep it in is Salgado. He will, but easily run down by Kalen Wright. Ryden, the 29-year-old from Norman, Oklahoma. That's headed down. Ishak Jerome. Richie Ryan, nifty touch. Ross, good movement to Andrew Fox. Gomez. Gomez floats one. It'll make it all the way through. Salgado's going to try and keep this in play, and will, to Rebellon. Great hustle by Salgado. Rebellon will be whistled for the foul as he gets tangled with Romeo Parks, who got a touch in.
That's well done from Omar Salgado, the hustle play to get to that ball and keep it in play.
Parks. Rebellon. It's a yellow. That is going to be a caution issued to Romeo Parks, a physical caution here in the 53rd minute, as you see. Omar Salgado sliding in. And Parks, with a flying elbow on Rebellon, draws the physical yellow card. And so a restart here for Dylan Maris and Locomotive FC. It's a bit far out, but anything kind of at an angle can be dangerous if you're able to get your head to it.
This is Andrew Fox
territory. And off to the far post, down by Gomez, and nobody there to follow through. Kept in play by Tenari. Gomez able to get something to it, but wasn't able to square it. Maris, Yuma. He'll take some air out. Logan Ketterer. And Toko does well to move the ball forward for Ross. Ross wide to Rebellon. Right to left to right. Rebellon, the cross into the box. Swung out by Hamilton. Yuma. Got away from Rebellon, but he earns a throw in as he bounces it off Austin Yearwood. Good long throw into Maris. Maris, touchdown Salgado. Maris draws a crowd, backs away, keeps possession. Ross and Fox will cross it into the box to the far post, headed up and over the back line. It'll be a Chick-fil-A corner kick. Good work by Austin Yearwood to keep that out of danger for United.
And here again, we see the Locomotive do a really good job coming out in the second half and really pinning the opposition into their halves and forcing turnovers and really creating chances off of those turnovers. They did it against RGV Toros on Saturday, and here we see them again against New Mexico United, coming out in the second half, coming out of the locker room very strong and with a clear objective of what they want to accomplish.
Maris with a Chick-fil-A corner kick as the rain begins to fall at Southwest University Park. Outswinger, swung out by Ryden. Yuma keeps it moving. Gomez to the back line, sends one, and it's over the back line. It'll be ruled a goal kick. Last touch, they say, by Andrew Fox. Again, more great work by the former Bravos man. Again on loan from Locomotive FC's sister squad in Liga MX. Josue Aron Gomez. Second on the team in goals to Jerome Kiesewetter last year with 8. Of course, Locomotive FC, 38 goals. That is combined, or rather 42 regular season goals, the lowest of any team that made the playoffs, but Locomotive FC went all the way to the Western Conference Finals and kind of found its offensive groove in the postseason.
Yeah, did very well to ride out sort of that rough patch during the summer period. And then once they sorted it out, got a lot of players back healthy, they were able to go on a run.
Here's Parks. Good work, and that was Fox. On the bounce, Gomez trying to catch him on the break. Rolled to Yuma. Cheating up a little bit. Now Maris will switch it. Andrew Fox to Ross. They got a deflection, but Ross back to Foxy. Andrew Fox, the Englishman, trying to cross and rolled in touch. Good work by Guzman, who almost put it over the back line for another Chick-fil-A corner. Good cross into the box, headed out by Ryden. It'll bounce Rebellon's way. Fills the space well. The nice chip into the box and lifted over for a Chick-fil-A corner. Again, Kalen Ryden has to be called on to make some moves. And another corner kick as Locomotive FC's second half. Almost a 180-degree turn from its first. Third corner of the match for Dylan Maris and Locomotive FC. The Chick-fil-A corner kick coming up. To the far post, swung out, and it's Romeo Parks skying for that. Yuma and Toko. Locomotive FC looking for its first win over New Mexico United. That one gets away as Ross tried to make something happen. Bruce the deflection, and on the bounce, on the break, Armando Moreno. Moreno, Sandoval. Sandoval trying to turn. He actually goes wide a bit, gets around Ross and earns the corner off of Intoko. Chick-fil-A corner coming for United. There is an injured player. I believe it's Chiro and Toko. I don't know if we'll get there are about to be 2 substitutions here for United. This will be their second in-game subs, and Toko is up under his own power. And they'll take the corner kick first. Tenari skies one to the far post, easily popped out by Rebellon, and there was a foul in the box anyway. That's now coming on, the substitutions. Tropical Smoothie Cafe substitutions. Tenari will end his evening in the 60th minute. Ryan Williams coming to replace him. Romeo Parks, the other one whose night is done. And replacing him will be David Estrada. So again, 5 substitutions total can be made, but only at 3 points in game. Subbing in half, as Mark Lowry did, bringing in Yuma for Distel Zola. does not count as one of those 3 instances. Ryden sort of a slow roller back, but keeps away from Salgado easily enough. This one will come to Rebellon, but Ryden comes to Estrada. Foul committed by United. The Locomotive has certainly put their stamp on this game in the opening 15 minutes plus of this second half, as they did Saturday. I think Mark Lowry, looking for a full 90 minutes, couldn't be happy with the first 45. But the second half, something completely different. 70% of the possession to New Mexico United's 30 so far in roughly 15 and a half minutes. And with the lead, they can afford to be patient, and will do exactly that. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality. Chris Wehan trying to take advantage of Mishak Jerome. That's touchdown by Yuma. Select, the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select, the official ball supplier of USL Championship, many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Guzman. Yearwood, and back to Guzman. Trying to work something up the middle. Work by Guzman, but that's batted away by Richie Ryan. It'll come for Gomez, and now out to Fox. Back to the Irishman, Ryan. Trying to lead one for Ross, a bit off target, but well won by Bruce and New Mexico United.
And we've seen this game sort of settle out into both teams just kind of feeling each other out again. Really even on possession in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Both teams getting a chance to go forward and really taking turns in their attempt.
Here's a touch. Sandoval trying to bring it down. The backhand overhead kick just wide. Devin Sandoval almost steered that one on frame. Back over his head. It's not a complete bicycle, but just missing the target. And something out of nothing. New Mexico United.
And the pressure of New Mexico United all game long has been an issue for the Locomotive, and we see it in that moment. We saw Chiro and Toko go down a couple of minutes earlier with a knock, and that might have been an issue, and that might have been a reason for him giving up the ball or losing possession of the ball in that moment. And here we see him again go down. And the trainer having to come on.
Ricardo Reis, the athletic trainer, coming out. The Texas Tech physicians of El Paso nod to the doc to take a look at Chiro and Toko. They did sub him out at halftime of Locomotive's first home match. We'll see how much longer the team captain is kept on the field.
I can't imagine Coach Mark Lowry is going to keep him on much longer. He played a full 90 in the game on Saturday, and trying to make sure players are fresh, experienced players, older players in the roster are able to manage and go the entire season is going to be really important. So even if he comes back on, I don't see Chiro and Toko playing the full 90 today.
And will have to stay off the field at least for now until he gets the clearance from Chris Ruska to come back in. You're in minute 65. Chiro and Toko, in 28 matches played last year, only subbed off one time. That is quite the warrior for a guy in his 30s, over 2,500 minutes played. Here's Mishak Jerome. Maris. Kicked out to Rebellon. Locomotive. trying to keep possession. That gets loose of Salgado a bit. Guzman now over for Ryan Williams. David Estrada. And back to Yearwood. Locomotive FC not opening many doors. You saw Sandoval's overhead kick. Here's Bruce challenging from the right wing. Backed out by Gomez. And now to right. United trying for a spell of possession. Guzman to Bruce. Armando Moreno, who's been largely silent in the second half of play. Earns the throw in. Moreno to Bruce. Well played. The cross inside, headed out by Ntoko, who's back on. Guzman and Bruce try to take some pressure off the situation. Here's Wright. Hamilton. Bruce. Weehan from the edge of the box. Delivers one. Bounced in. Ketterer with a save. Rebound wide. How did Sandoval miss? Good service. Weehan, excellent thought. And right there waiting for it was David Estrada.
What an opportunity for New Mexico United. Great work from Chris Weehan, recognizing that he couldn't get that ball to Devin Sandoval inside the box, choosing to play back to the top of the box. Devin Sandoval is gonna want that chance back. Logan Ketterer was on his backside, not able to react, and Devin Sandoval just put the ball wide.
The Albuquerque native won't find an easier shot. But Chiro Ntoko is down again, having to get back up, and I think we're going to have our tropical smoothie substitution right now. 68th minute. It will be the team captain Chiro Ntoko coming off, and the Canadian Drew Becky coming in. Of course, the Still Defending documentary available on Amazon, out now, stilldefendingdoc.com. As neon green will replace neon red. Chiro Ntoko gets an opportunity to be tended to. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2020. Sign up today. Get alerts all year long following your club on ESPN.com. Search for El Paso Locomotive FC and click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. And get reminders on El Paso's next match. ESPN.com. Click follow for your club. Foul committed in Yuma. We'll leave it off for Brian Rebellon to restart. Locomotive FC. 2 late goals in the 43rd minute and in stoppage time from Salgado and Andrew Fox to give them an improbable 2-1 lead going into the locker room. And if you'd seen probably the first 40 minutes of the match, you would wonder how we got there. But defensive breakdown, set pieces have gotten Locomotive into the game, and my friend Michael Damas next door to me calling it. Late in the match, set plays, felt Locomotive FC could really take advantage, and they did.
And we're starting to see New Mexico United really get a handle on this game in the second half. We felt like the game had evened out a little bit. However, in the last 10 minutes, New Mexico United is really starting to put their stamp on the game and dominate possession and opportunities created in this game.
And this will be the third and final substitution coming for El Paso. Substitution opportunity. It will be Joris Alinvi in here in minute 70. And Salim Mohammed, who has got to be the goal of the week winner, which I think gets announced officially tomorrow. This is the man who knocked that one in on the bounce off of a good clearance by Colorado Springs switchbacks as the rain really begins to come down here in El Paso.
This has to be a foreign sight for both of this team. Both of these teams not used to playing in the rain.
When does that happen in the Chihuahuan Desert for Albuquerque or El Paso? Richie Ryan doesn't get as much as that, much of that as he would like to have, but is able to give Andrew Fox an opportunity to get it up to Gomez. Ryan to Yuma, swung out by Maris to Rebellon. Salgado rolls in touch for United.
I think one of the changes the Locomotive have made in the second half is where Omar Salgado is starting out on this near left side against Austin Yearwood, where in the first half he was going against David Najim and then Daniel Bruce. That looked like it worked quite well for them in the first half. Just his pace and his physical ability to run at those players was crucial in that first half. They haven't had those chances here in the second half, and we'll see if Coach Mark Lowry recognizes that and switches those two players again.
Here's Rebellon. Good work by Ryan, and switch it out to the right side for El Paso. Back to the left, and Ross to Ryan. Ryan. Andrew Fox. Up to Salgado. Locomotive patient, working it up. Gomez, it'll be worked around to Yuma. Lots of open territory for Rebellon. Yuma. Ryan, possession continues. Andrew Fox, Nick Ross. Omar Salgado, the back heel, trying to spring Maris up the middle. Didn't quite work out. Right in there, Bruce to clear it on the bounce. Weehan trying to get there, knocked back by the head of Mishak Jerome.
Really good patience in the build-up from the Locomotive. Probin looking for the right opportunity to spring a player in behind and into goal.
It's off the head of Becky. Skied down by Salim Mohammed. As you hear the rain hitting our on-field microphones a bit. Peace from the 105-degree temperatures that led into this weekend. That's the temp at kickoff for Locomotive's first match against RGV Toros FC. Near the century mark again today, but monsoon season beginning to set in here in the high desert.
I'm from Houston. I don't know if what you consider a monsoon in El Paso is the same as what us Houstonians experience on a yearly basis.
A light drizzle. Thrown in and just loose and wide, and it's over. It would have been offside anyway. Mizell didn't have to go for it, but Maris on the restart would not have counted had it found the back of the net. Flag was up.
That's a really good ball from Dylan Maris, putting it into a dangerous area. He would have preferred that to go a bit more towards that second post. So if a player doesn't touch it, it's going on frame and forcing Cody Mizell to make a save. And if a player does touch it, it freezes up Cody Mizell just for that split moment, allowing the ball to travel a bit more.
Here is Hamilton. Works it out to the right wing in Estrada. Bruce. Mohammed. Back around to Ryden. Good turn by Alinvi. Alinvi taken off the ball, though, by Ryan. That will allow Rebellon to get under it. Doesn't go far. Jack Jerome. Back to Logan Ketterer, who waits to see Devin Sandoval before he picks it up to restart. Back into the middle, Richie Ryan. That is a foul forced. That's not a foul. That might be. That's going to be a penalty kick. Drew Becky commits the penalty. Locomotive's first of the season as he takes down Chris Wehan in the box.
And that is very questionable from the referee. That first initial tackle on Richie Ryan, in my opinion, was a foul. However, the referee doesn't deem it a foul, and then Drew Becky comes in late on the chin and takes out Chris Wehan and draws the foul and the penalty. In my opinion, that initial foul, that initial contact on Richie Ryan should have been called, mitigating everything that happened afterwards.
Well, the penalty kick coming up for New Mexico United. And let's see who's going to take it. Looks like Devin Sandoval, the Albuquerque native. Sandoval, who played a little bit with the University of New Mexico. Working on Logan Ketterer. Sandoval into the corner, slotted home, and it's tied at 2. From nothing, a huge break. And it's the Kings of Chaos, New Mexico United, clawing their way back into this game. The penalty kick goal by Devin Sandoval in the 77th minute.
And Logan Ketterer does well to go the right way, just not getting enough to it or extending far enough to be able to get enough on that ball. Devin Sandoval does very well to put that into the corner with pace and away from the goalkeeper.
It's our Hydro Flask hydration break as a cool rain falls on both teams here, but it's New Mexico United fighting their way back in to tie this one up at 2 apiece. You can argue the penalty kick. You might be able to argue Andrew Fox's second Locomotive goal might have been offside, but let's take a look at the upcoming schedule during the Hydro Flask hydration break. The Estrella Jalisco upcoming schedule, again United back here in 9 days. Then it'll be at Phoenix Rising. That should be a very entertaining matchup. On the 1st of August, a week later, Colorado Springs Switchbacks back in El Paso. Real Monarchs SLC, the defending Western Conference and USL Cup champions, back here on August the 15th in a month. And then it's at Colorado Springs Switchbacks on the 22nd. 16 games total. They do count the games that you had at the first of the season. So, for instance, San Diego Loyal, I know, got a couple of games in. Locomotive only got the one. Most teams only got the one. So 15 games remaining. And, of course, some things might change a little bit depending on rules and regulations issued by local authorities as the United States deals with the COVID-19 crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for example, here in El Paso, the organization has made the decision not to have fans in the stands, whereas in Colorado Springs, in their game against New Mexico, they did have fans in the stands. However, with the approval, with the blessing of the local authorities and some social distancing measures in place. So it's going to be touch and go as we move forward with the season.
Sam Hamilton being tended to. It's a Texas Tech Physicians of El Paso nod to the doc. And for the 3rd time tonight, having to come over and take a look is Tyler Harris.
And this is not what New Mexico United's head coach Troy Lesane is looking forward to, having to replace David Najam early in that first half. He won't be happy or won't be looking forward to what's happening with Sam Hamilton.
Well, they've already used up the 3 opportunities to make a substitution.
So even if he can't go, they're going to have to play down a man.
Let's take a look and see if we can do the physical play of the game. Brought to you by Physical and in Therapy Centers. tracking down David Teneri from behind. A little do-si-do, how do you do? I'll take that, thank you. Gotta love to see that from your big forward.
For someone that's 6'4", he's definitely, he moves well. Once he gets a full head of steam,
Here is really Andrew Fox. Into the box and just nodded over Dylan Maris.
That's one that Dylan Maris normally puts in the back of the net. You can see from his reaction, the reaction from his teammates. They were very surprised that that ball went to Dylan Maris and did not end up in the back of the net. A great run from Andrew Fox to pick out Dylan Maris inside the box, and just unlucky not to put that into the back of the net.
Towed it just over the crossbar. And Maris, all it needed was a simple touch. And is scooped up off his foot a bit. Here's Salgado trying to fight off the double team, actually. Gomez, who wants the foul called. It's put it a touch by Wright.
And here's where Omar Salgado needs to be smart. He's on a yellow card. He's got to leave the referees alone. I do agree with him. That was a foul on Jose Aaron Gomez, clearly being held from behind, and the referee did not see it, but could have gotten help from his linesman.
Into the box, Salgado. Maris crossing. And cleared away by New Mexico. Rebellon's going to draw the contact and draw the foul from Alinvi. Quick restart. Maris. Locomotive wants to keep it going. Yuma into the box. It's Fox! And pardon me, that is Nick Ross just wide. Two golden opportunities from Maris and Nick Ross, the Scotsman.
Even though these are not going in, this has got to be a positive sign for the Locomotive. Coach Mark Lowry has to be happy with the fact that they're getting the ball into these dangerous areas. In that game against RGV Toros on Saturday, the majority of their shots early in the second half and even into the second half were coming from outside the box. Here we see them getting closer shots and closer opportunities inside the box. That's got to be a positive sign for the Locomotive.
Bad turnover here. Gomez trying to lead Salgado, taken away by Mohammed. Estrada. Oh, defended very well by Ross. Back to Richie Ryan. Box to Ryan and the Irishman. Centrally to Yuma. And to Rebellon, who has lots of room. Good work by Alinvi. Who said it got touched off of Rebellon. Who said he got it touched off Rebellon, and the linesman agrees. Throw in for New Mexico. Fans follow Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Will there be a match winner? Into the 84th minute we go in El Paso, Texas. And for Locomotive FC to try and earn that match winner, Marios Lomas is about ready to make his way into the match. He will replace Josue Aaron Gomez. Eight shots for Lomas so far. Had a few against Orange County. But here is a dangerous restart for Chris Weehan in New Mexico. Dangerous because at an angle out there, if you get your head to it, it's almost like a scratch shot and pool. Out it rolls, and the foul is going to be committed by New Mexico, and that will allow the substitution. Josue Aaron Gomez in the 85th minute, making way for the Dutchman.
And
Marios Lomas.
Marios Lomas was brought in because he's a goal scorer. He has a knack for putting the ball in the back of the net. Can he find a way to create some separation and get a quality look on goal late in this game?
Gets away from Rebellon. It'll be a throw-in here for Austin Yearwood and New Mexico United, who would love nothing more than to walk away with at least a point, as that one rolls in touch for El Paso. This would echo their first meeting with Locomotive FC here in El Paso. A 2-2 draw last season.
Based on New Mexico United's shape, it looks like they're content to walk away with this game with a draw. They pulled Chris Wehan back into the midfield to add a bit of numbers, or to give them more numbers inside centrally in the midfield. And the only reason I can think that they would make such a move is if they were looking to see out this game and walk away with a 1 or 2-2 draw.
Almost it bounces straight to Olinvi. Has it taken away. Good work by Yuma. Maris has a go. Punched away by Cody Meisel's forearms. Locomotive FC back with it again. Here is Ross. Doesn't get enough of that. Estrada. Defended well by Fox. No foul. Play on. Fox taken down. And that will draw contact in the foul. Pleading his case is Salim Mohammed, but to no avail. Andrew Fox trying to fight off the cramps, it appears. We're in the 87th minute.
And you see fitness coach Gabriel Zapponi over there, probably giving him a few words of encouragement, letting him know that he's putting enough time and ran the yo-yo enough time over the off season to be fit enough to last the full 90 in this game.
Fights off the cramps, and Andrew Fox will stay on the field. On the restart, sent in Maris. Getting ahead to it was Lomes, but it's up and over as Drew Becky pleads his case for a foul in the box. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allowing clubs across the United Soccer Leagues to build a pathway to pro soccer. By bringing together the top local youth talent following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League. Kicks off spring of next year. For more information, visit usl-academy.com or search hashtag USL Academy on social media. Meisel on the restart. Chested down by the Irishman, Ryan, and that is a handle. Evan Sandoval. Free kick to Locomotive FC. Into the 88th minute, almost to the 89th. Here is Becky. Gets away from Fox, who keeps it. Well played. Maris, Lomes trying to touch it up. Salgado. Salgado trying to turn. Gets to the byline. The high cross. Too high, but it comes to Rebellon looking for a better shot. Well played, Olinvi. Taken away. Yuma chipped. Far post, headed away by Bruce. Only so far as Andrew Fox. Back into the box to the far post. That's offside. Flag is up. 89th minute. Locomotive FC pressing for the winner. New Mexico United content with a road point.
You can see Cody Meisel managing this game, going for the furthest ball and not the one right by his net.
What, this one? Oh no, that one.
With the tactical changes that Troy Lesane has made in this late in this game, it comes across that they're content with this 2-2 draw.
And into the 90th minute we go. There will be those 6 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time coming up. Yuma. Rebellon. Can Locomotive FC continue the pressure? Maris. Fox. Back to Dylan Maris. Lomes turning, firing, deflected. Back out, Richie Ryan keeps it moving. Maris to the left wing, Fox. Bounced back to him by Bruce. Ross floats one to the far post. Rebellon touching it back in. Good clearance. Great work by Kalen Ryden. Exactly where he needed to be. It'll roll in a touch away from Alinvi. Quick throw in by Yuma. 6 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time officially. Yuma. Ross. Rather Ryan to Ross. Andrew Fox. Low cross, Salgado just over the crossbar. Big opportunity for the big man who got some elevation. On Salim Muhammad.
What a ball from Andrew Fox. Couldn't have teed that up better for Omar Salgado with pace. All he has to do is direct that on frame. It has enough pace on it to beat the goalkeeper. He just tries to direct it a bit too much and misses the frame of the goal. A great opportunity for the Locomotive.
And Mizell will take all the time in the world. Rebellon will let that one bounce for the throw in. Elects to go back to the Haitian, Mishak Jerome, and to Ketterer. Becky. Fox. Back to Becky. I would imagine Andrew Fox, when and where he can, will take his time working up the field, dealing with those cramps.
Well, since he's gone down with that cramp, he served 2 really good balls into the box. So I don't know how much the cramp is really bothering him if he's able to serve those quality crosses into the box like he's done on the last 2 occasions.
Here's Becky to Fox. Let's see what they have. To Ryan, popped out to Ross, has to head it to keep it in play, and Fox will run under it. Here's Fox serving it. Again, right. They'll put it into touch. Ross, all the way back to Becky. Richie Ryan, the Irishman, 35 years young. Played the full 90 plus here today. Mishak Jerome, good switch to Fox. Nice move to get in. Looking to set up something. Elects to go to Ross on the outside. In swinger. Rebellon trying to touch it and right off of the face. I believe that's Austin Yearwood.
And that late run, that deep cross into Brian Rebellon has been on the last few times. He's doing a good job of holding out, giving himself room and space to run onto these crosses. Here you see him take it first time, trying to put it back into a dangerous area. He might look to put that on frame and force Cody Mizell into a save and a possible rebound for one of his teammates.
Back heel from Rebellon to Yuma, as you see Austin Yearwood taking that around the throat area. That can't feel good. Becky swings one in. Rebellon can't get there.
The good look from Drew Becky, just overhitting this ball a little bit. Needs to lead Brian Rebellon just a little bit towards goal and not towards the corner flag. But good idea from Drew Becky. We haven't talked about it much this second half, but Yuma has done a terrific job on Devin Sandoval and keeping him from winning these long ball opportunities, these goal kick opportunities from Cody Mizell. In that first half, Devin Sandoval was able to bring the ball down on his chest, get a flick on multiple of these long balls from Cody Mizell. In this second half, Yuma has done a great job of obstructing him, getting in his way, just knocking him off balance and keeping him from winning and controlling the passes from Cody Mizell.
A minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time. Roughly 90 or so seconds. If not a little more, at the discretion of Chris Ruska, our referee. It'll be a throw-in for United. Daniel Bruce has done a solid job defensively after replacing David Najem in the 28th minute. You could tell that they wanted to work through Najem a lot more, but Bruce has held his ground defensively, and that's what Troy Lesesne might be looking for. Here is Andrew Fox. Nice slide over to Marios Lomes. Earns the throw in. We'll leave off for Fox to do so. Less than a minute of stoppage time. The cross to down Salgado, hooked out. Off the stick of Olinvi, or off the foot of Olinvi. Williams. That's going to be a foul on Maris. Caution is out. It'll be a physical yellow card to Dylan Maris in stoppage time. And that might be it. Kalen Ryden to put this back in play. Will this be the last action of the game? Ryden puts it up, not quite. Salgado trying to keep it in play. Will gets hooked, and that will be a foul. Austin Yearwood trying to slow things down, and that's going to do it. Richie Ryan doesn't like the final whistle, but the final whistle is blown, and it will be a 2-2 draw. Locomotive FC and New Mexico United FC, each with a point. Locomotive stays up on top of Group C, pending other action this weekend. Richie Ryan is still looking for an explanation from Chris Ruska. Why'd you blow the foul and then blow the whistle? But that's the way it will end, Mike.
And he's got a valid point. Dylan Maris was called for a foul and given a yellow card for holding on to the player, and the same thing happened to Omar Salgado, and no card was issued, and that's what Richie Ryan is upset about. It's not the fact that he called a foul, it's the fact that he didn't. The situations were very similar, but there was not a card issued.
2-2 and a point apiece for Locomotive FC and New Mexico United. We'll be back with highlights and to wrap things up here from Southwest University Park right after this.
If you have a passion for the healthcare industry and want to be part of the solution, then start today. At Southwest University, we have designed high-quality educational careers, helping you become a healthcare professional in as little as 9 months. Earn a degree as a surgical technician, sonographer, or a registered nurse in less than 2 years. Southwest University is El Paso's #1 allied health school. Start your career with online classes today. For more information, visit us now at southwestuniversity.edu. Southwest University makes you happen.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day.
Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park. The final score here tonight: New Mexico United 2, Locomotive FC 2. United taking an early lead on the goal by Chris Wehan. Locomotive fighting back to take a 2-1 lead into the locker room, but let's take a look at the second half highlights. Duke Keith Michael Balogun with you as we take a check here. Andrew Fox lifting it in all the way, comes out. Richie Ryan. Is this a foul here? Committed by Ryan Williams. Chris Wehan. Play on, says the referee. Becky definitely with a late challenge, but should the first foul have been called? Either way, it was whistled as a penalty kick, which Devin Sandoval will finish here with a plum. Pushing it low and to Logan Ketterer's right. That is just about as perfectly placed as you can get it if you're going to keep it low. But with an opportunity for the win later on, the Albuquerque native might have the miss of the game, as we will take a look here at Andrew Fox. Fox fighting things off, fighting off the cramps. Great cross to Dylan Maris, and Maris trying to redirect that one into the far post, just puts it over the corner. 2 apiece, and Mike, I think Locomotive FC really hard pressed, and by that I mean it literally. New Mexico's press was just out of the gates for the first 20 to 25 minutes. Wonderful, and it yielded them an early goal as Locomotive put on their back heels from the opening whistle. They got their feet under them. As you pointed out, it was going to be those set pieces. It was going to be late in the half, and indeed both of Locomotive's goals came just inside the 6-yard box. One from Omar Salgado in the 43rd, the second from Andrew Fox in stoppage time, and Locomotive went into the locker room with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, and we talked about how susceptible to giving up late goals in the half New Mexico United are. They also, on the flip side, are really good at scoring goals late in the game, and we saw them get a penalty late in this game to even it up at 2-2. So both things that are ingrained into the fabric of what New Mexico United want to do, we saw tonight. But on the other side, we saw the Locomotive really do a good job of bringing themselves back into the game after what they would feel like was a poor start, dealing with the pressure of New Mexico United.
And our estrella of the match, you saw him fighting off the cramps. You saw him scoring what was at that point the go-ahead goal. And how about this save? Andrew Fox, your estrella of the match. What a timely intervention on Amando Moreno. Andrew Fox later in the first half. Rebellon, the overhead kick. Salgado. And Foxy there to put away the rebound. Andrew Fox, as we take a look at our full-time stats from this evening's match. Well, it was all New Mexico United in the first half. Certainly, Locomotive FC got things under. They had a much better second half, let's be frank. 81% to 78.6 in passing accuracy possession. Locomotive FC, it was worse than reversed in the first half. New Mexico United had all of the ball, but it turns out Locomotive FC in the second half, a wonderful second half for them, possesses the ball most of all, 22 shots, but only 6 on target. 12 shots to 6 on target for New Mexico. It was all Locomotive FC in that second half. But again, it's the penalty kick, the opportunism. New Mexico United walks away with a point.
Yeah, and they'll have to be pleased with this point on the road, knowing how difficult it is to come in here and get a point. So New Mexico United has to walk away feeling good about this result. However, the Locomotive are going to be a bit disappointed in how they've started both their games in this restart. We saw them struggle to start against RGV Toros and really struggle in the first half and come back and dominate the second half. And we see that again in this game against United. That first half was not their strongest part of the game, but in the second half they were much better, and that looks like it's becoming a theme. And I think Coach Mark Lowry is going to want to address that before they get back on the 24th.
And on the 24th, it will be New Mexico United and El Paso Locomotive FC. Once again, both of these teams will take the next week and a half off and then meet back here at Southwest University Park in a couple of weekends' time. For Michael Balogun and our entire crew, our producer Juan Gutierrez, and the gang, we appreciate your viewership tonight. The final scores, you see Chris Weehan's 11th minute goal. Locomotive FC 2, New Mexico United 2, here from Southwest University Park. Until then, so long, everybody.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Great summers start at Casa Nissan, where our casa is su casa. You can soak in the summer savings with incredible discounts on every new Nissan from our huge selection. Current Nissan drivers can get a 2020 Rogue Sport with 0% APR and $4,582 off MSRP. Save on your new summer ride at Casa Nissan. Our casa is su casa. Yeah!
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League